What up, Omnivorous? I am super stoked to announce a series that I've been conceptualizing for a very long time. It's called Cooking the States. In this series, we're going to cook a famous dish from a different state each episode in an attempt to figure out really the true identity of what American food is. In this series, you can expect to make each state's signature dish from scratch, as well as learn a little bit of history about each dish, and hopefully just, generally be a happier person after watching. Since we're going in alphabetical order here, and this is episode 1, you guessed it, we're going to take a trip down south to visit our brothers in Alabama. Some of you probably already know this, but Alabama is known for blessing us with white barbecue sauce. It's a mayonnaise-based, tangy, sort of semi-spicy barbecue sauce that's a lot different than the traditional stuff. I guess there's a lot of different kinds of traditional stuff, but this one's special. The star of the show today is Chicky. I just went ahead and removed the backbone from these chickies, halved them, and let them soak in a liquid brine overnight. If you've ever wondered how restaurants cook chicken moist, juicy, and oh so succulent, then, wonder no more. The answer is because they brine it. This step is totally optional, but if you do cook a lot of chicken at your crib, then let this be a lesson in kitchen competency. Add 1/4 cup kosher salt and 1/4 cup sugar to every 4 cups of water that you use to cover the chicken. Alright, so cover the chicken in the brine, then weigh things down with a plate or a bowl just to ensure that the chickie doesn't breach for air. Then set it in the fridge for 8 to 24 hours. And if you do this in the early AM, then you should be good to smoke the chicken by the evening. After the chickens juicify in their briny bath, remove them from said bath, pat dry with paper towels, and let air dry on a wire rack in the fridge for at least an hour. We're going to season these birds with a quick spice blend that I threw together. It consists of 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of ground white pepper, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Notice I did not say any salt, and that's because I rarely add salt to my spice blends because I like to ensure that my food is seasoned properly before I dust it. Season the chickie with salt on all sides before rubbing her down with the spice blend that we just made, and you'll probably have a little bit of extra, so just set that aside and use it for something else later. It's really good on anything. You don't have to be too aggro with the seasoning here. Remember, these birds are brined, so they're pretty much seasoned from the inside out. Now for the sauce. This is a classic Alabama white sauce, and it was invented sometime in the 1920s at a spot called Big Bob Gibson's in Decatur, Alabama. It is a mayo-based sauce that is tangy, creamy, and peppery, sort of all at the same time, and honestly, it doesn't get any easier to make than this. Literally all we have to do are mix things together. There are no reduction or simmering steps required, and you can thank Big Bobby for that one. Grab yourself a large bowl and mix together a cup of mayonnaise, a half cup of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of yellow mustard powder, 2 tablespoons of ground black pep, a half teaspoon of red chili flake, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire McDerber sauce, 1 teaspoon of lemon zest, the juice from half a lemon, and a pinch or 2 of kosher salt. This recipe makes about 1.5 cups of sauce, but if you need more, which you probably will, it's easy to double, triple, or even quadruple this batch depending on how much chicken you're making. Okay, sauce done. Now it is time to hit the Webby and convert it into a smoker. And I just do that by laying some bricks across the middle, popping a disposable aluminum tray on one side and some coals and wood on the other. I'm using some hickory this go around, I believe. Orient the top vents so that they're laying over the chicken so that the smoke sort of pulls over the birdies as they cook. Do this until your chicken reaches 165 internal in the leg. But before you pull the chicken, I like to baste them with the white sauce, maybe 15 to 30 minutes or so before they're finished cooking, just for good measure. Once the chickie is smoked to perfection, we gotta do how they do down in Bama and baptize the birds in the sauce. Which just means dunk the whole chicken in the sauce before letting the birds rest. A good Bama white sauce should have some viscosity to it, but still run off the chicken quite easily. It should be more of a coating and less of a caked-on sunscreen type vibe. After 10 minutes of resting, go ahead and serve up. And I'm serving my little birdies with some ham-laced braised collards and cold creamy potato salad, but, baked beans and mac and cheese, those are other great options. Now you could cut the chicken off the bones and slice it real nice to serve family style with your sides, or just do as I'm doing and kerplunk a whole bird on a tray per person. With a serving size like that, and of barbecue nonetheless, it really doesn't get more American than that. Thank you, Big Bobby. You've done a fantastic job and brought an amazing piece of food culture to the United States of America. So for that, I commend you. Woo! The idea for Cooking the States came about when somebody over on Instagram asked me to name a dish that was truly American. I named a bunch of dishes, and at every turn he basically challenged me, saying that the dish I said was actually from a different country. Now, in a lot of ways he might be right, depending on the dish of course, but the US is a huge place. It's full of lots of different kinds of cultures, lots of different people, lots of different food, which is one of the reasons why it's such a beautiful place to eat, to cook, and just to live in general. The United States, of course a nation made up of immigrants, is a super special place. You're not going to find the cultural diversity that's found here in many other spots in the world. That's just a fact. So it makes sense that as Americans we borrow from other countries and different cultures to sort of swirl things up and make them our own. A lot of dishes are also just straight up American, and they should be considered American, and I'd like to showcase those on this channel. So it's kind of the reason why we're diving into Cooking the States here, and I really hope you guys liked episode 1. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. If you're from Alabama, let me know what you thought here, you know, from your boy up north. How did I do? I spend a lot of time conceptualizing and of course shooting and cooking and developing recipes for these series, so it really helps. Your feedback is really tremendously helpful. I'm also over on TikTok and Instagram, so follow me over there if you're into that sort of thing. I'll stop doing that with my hands now. Again, your feedback is appreciated. I always try to get back to my DMs, my comments, everything that we do here. So if you like the episode, you're new here, please subscribe, all that good stuff. Boom, bam, bow, and I will see you next week. So see you later.